This is Radio Romania International. You are listening to our one-hour broadcast in English for listeners in Western Europe and Japan. We can also be heard on the internet at www.ri.ro Channel 1. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter and other social media platforms. Our programs are also available on TuneIn and via satellite Eurosat 16A on 11,512 MHz vertical polarization, azimuth 16 degrees east. Symbol rate 29,950 megasymbols per second. Standard DVB-S2. Modulation 8 PSK. Audio PID 510. We wish you good reception conditions.
Hello, I'm Anna Maria Popescu with the news. First, the headlines. As of the 1st of July, the COVID digital certificate is available for travelers in the European Union. Slovenia took over the rotating presidency of the European Union from Portugal, and the Romanian police announced the implementation of a national registry of sex offenders and people traffickers. A digital COVID certificate is available as of the 1st of July to ease travel around the European Union. The document proves the owner has been vaccinated, has recovered, or recently tested negative for the disease. The Special Telecommunication Service in Romania has created a web platform which can be accessed at certificate-covid.gov.ro. After filling in a form, users can download a QR code which can be printed or displayed on the mobile phone so that it may be scanned by customs officers. In another development, new relaxation measures were introduced in Romania on July the 1st. Fairs and theme parks have been opened while accommodation facilities and gyms are allowed to operate at full capacity. Cafes and restaurants can stay open until 2 o'clock in the morning, but access to nightclubs and bars is only allowed to those vaccinated. On Thursday, authorities announced 31 new COVID infections out of 26,000 tests and reported only 5 fatalities in the past 24 hours. 450 patients are being treated in hospitals and 67 in intensive care. Slovenia took over on the 1st of July the half-yearly rotating EU presidency from Portugal. This is Slovenia's second term at the helm of the European Union since 2008. The Slovene presidency will give priority to rebuilding and strengthening the bloc's resilience and strategic autonomy. During its present term, Slovenia and the European Union's main institutions will chair the Conference over Europe's Future. The Romanian police announced that a national registry is operational concerning people having committed sexual offences, exploitation and offences against children. This is a separate record from a person's criminal history and is an operative identification and surveillance instrument focusing on perpetrators of human trafficking and exploitation and sexual offences. Individuals listed in the registry are under an obligation to appear regularly before the police to provide information and to notify the authorities of any travels longer than 15 days. Citizens may obtain their own integrity certificates valid for 6 months by submitting an application. The unemployment rate in the European Union dropped 0.1% last month compared to April to 7.3%, but it is over the 6.9% mark reported in May 2020, the Eurostat announced on Thursday. The member states with the lowest unemployment rates, below 4%, are the Netherlands, the Czech Republic, Germany, Malta, Poland, and Hungary. At the opposite pole are Greece and Spain with over 15%, with a 5.5% unemployment rate in May, down from 5.7% in April. Romania has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the European Union. Hans Kluge, the head of the World Health Organization Europe, Thursday announced during a news conference that the 10 weeks of decline in the number of COVID-19 infections in Europe are over. According to the WHO official, a new wave of infections is expected unless citizens and authorities comply with medical rules. Last week, the number of new cases rose by 10%, driven by increased mixing, travel, gatherings, and easing of social restrictions, Kluge said. This is taking place in the context of a rapidly evolving situation, a new variant of concern, the Delta variant, and in a region where, despite tremendous efforts by member states, millions remain unvaccinated, the WHO official went on to say. To wrap up the news bulletin, here is a look back at our top stories today. As of the 1st of July, the COVID digital certificate is available for travelers in the European Union. Slovenia took over the rotating presidency of the European Union from Portugal, and the Romanian police announced the implementation of a national registry for sex offenders and people traffickers. July saw the introduction of the Green Certificate and the further easing of COVID restrictions in Romania. I'm Cristina Matescu with this report by Roxana Vasile. The digital COVID certificate proving that its holder is vaccinated, has recovered from the infection, or has tested negative for the virus came into effect in the European Union on the 1st of July. During the pandemic, traveling has been more complicated, requiring lots of forms, tests, and vaccination certificates issued in different languages, which customs officials were not always able to understand. The new digital certificate, which is identical across the Union, is intended to facilitate access to member states. The QR-coded document can be printed on paper or downloaded on mobile phones and read by customs officials via special scanners. In Romania, the Special Telecommunications Service has created a secure online platform providing access to the COVID certificate. Users must first type in a valid email address, which allows them to obtain the certificates for all family members. The personal numerical code then also needs to be typed in, as well as the data in the ID card used when the person in question got their vaccine, obtained proof of recovery from the infection, or a negative COVID test result. The system also requires other data, such as the country where the vaccine was administered and the dates of the first and second doses. Parental consent is required in the case of children under the age of 14. Very importantly, the Special Telecommunications Service recommends obtaining the certificate at least 5 days before traveling abroad to those who are fully vaccinated, and at least 12 or 48 hours before for persons who have taken a rapid test or PCR. A hotline will also be available for those who wish to get hold of the certificate but are not very comfortable using the digital platform. In the case of persons with a negative COVID test result, the certificate is valid 24 hours for rapid antigen tests and 72 hours for PCR tests. In the case of persons who have recovered from infection, the certificate is valid 180 days of the date of the first positive test result. Finally, the certificate will expire in July next year for those who are fully vaccinated. 1st of July traditionally marks the start of the summer holidays, an opportunity for the Romanian authorities to announce the lifting of further restrictions, with a beneficial impact for the tourist sector. More persons will be allowed to attend private events. Clubs, restaurants and cafes can now stay open until 2 a.m. More spectators will be able to attend sports events, and hotels and guest houses can function at full capacity. Some performances can even be held with 2,500 spectators or more, provided a 2-meter physical distance is respected. And that was Radio Newsread.
Next in this program, sports. Welcome to Sports Flash. I'm Eugen Master. Romanian tennis player Irina Begu on Wednesday advanced to the third round of Wimbledon. In a match that lasted 2 hours and 33 minutes, Begu overpowered Croatia's Petra Martic 7-5, 6-7, 6-3. Irina grabbed the 7-5 win in the first set coming from behind, when Martic had an advantage of 4 games to 2. In the second set, after a 5-3 advantage for Begu, the Croatian leveled the score. For the tie-break, Begu wasted 2 match balls, when she had a 6-5 and a 7-6 advantage. Petra Martic then succeeded to level the score in terms of sets. In the third set, Irina Begu managed to secure a 4-1 advantage and won the set 6-3. We recall that prior to the recently held confrontation, Martic had defeated Begu in 2012 at the Fed Cup and in the Australian Open second round in 2018. Irina's going through to the third round of Wimbledon secured her a check worth £115,000 and also earned her 130 WTA points. In the third round, Begu goes against Polish opponent Iga Swiatek, 7th seeded at Wimbledon. A prospective win against Swiatek will surely make a career best for Irina Begu. The Romanian Football Federation has announced that Denis Ciobotariu and George Pușcaș have been left out of Romania's polo regulars ahead of the Tokyo Olympics. We recall that Ciobotariu's club, CFR Cluj, consented to Denis being summoned to the national squad, yet CFR changed their mind. The same happened to George Pușcaș, who the team he currently plays for, second-tier Reading Football Club in England, recalled Pușcaș, so the Romanian travels from Bucharest back to England. Under the circumstances, head coach Miro Dadoi opted for striker Adrian Santan of FC Hermannstad, a team that in 2021 has been relegated to the second division. Romania's Olympic football team on Wednesday assembled at the National Football Center in Mugoșoaia. The training ground will be an off-limits area for prospective onlookers until the 18-strong official pool of regulars departs for Japan on July the 15th. And that's all from Sports Today. You can also access our sports items at RRI.io and on Facebook.
Next in today's broadcast, it's Hit of the Day. Listen to Dragoș Moldovan and his latest song, I'll Tell You Again.